Uh-oh. Fuck me. You have to be kidding me.
I just go blank and I look at my friend. He's just in disbelief. He can't process that his car has just been dropped off a cliff. I'm Ben McAllister, and I was a passenger in the car that flipped over. I went over to my friend's house and he was washing his car, and he's like, hey, like, let's go for a drive so I can dry this thing off. Like, you know, I don't have anything to really dry it with, but if we just cruise, like, it'll dry. We got in the car, we go down a kind of a windy road, drying off real good, everything's good, car's pretty new. It was a manual car, so he's like kind of having fun, like getting used to the gears. He's going into this corner, and it's like a hairpin corner. He swings like too far to the right on the gravel, and he's trying to pull it back over. He's turning left, and the car just is not going left. And I'm looking into this wall, and I'm like, there's no way we're gonna hit this. Like, we can't hit this, right? And it's just straight. And then all of a sudden, we just go up on these rocks, and it's like, oh no. It was like the slowest thing ever. The car turns and slowly flips over. We're hanging upside down. Are you okay? Are you okay? Like, we're both like yelling at each other, asking if we're okay. We're like, yeah, I'm okay. And then we just like figured out in our head, okay, I guess we gotta get out of the car. I just take off my seatbelt, like land on my head, and then get out of the car, and we're just like, what do we do? Like, oh my gosh. He called his mom. She hangs up and calls my mom.
It was literally the phone call that every parent dreads. There's been an accident, your kid's involved. My heart sank. She's like, don't worry, the kids are fine, And I thought, okay, kids are fine, there's an accident, that's all right, I can handle that. My son told me they'd been going to do homework at some of the kids' house.
They thought I was studying or something, and so they were a little surprised that I'm actually on the side of a road with a car that's upside down.
That was terrifying, to come around the corner and find that car on its roof. So I pull over, I get out my car, I walk up to check the kids. They've already called AAA. Somebody's coming out to recover the car. I'm thinking, this is great. I don't need to do much. I'll just wait for the tow truck to take the car away, move on with my life.
There were definitely a few areas that would need to be buffed out. You wouldn't say like, oh, this car's ruined. I just thought a tow truck would come and turn this thing right side up. We'd get out of there within like an hour.
Meanwhile, the tow truck guy has started to try and recover the car. Every time he tries to get the car onto its wheel, the chain snaps or the car keeps falling down. 3 or 4 times the car keeps dropping to the ground. Every time he drops it, another little tinkle of glass and another little smashed wing mirror or whatever. At this point, I've got the phone out because I'm thinking, you know, the insurance company might be interested in seeing some of this. So the next thing he does, he drags the car. I mean, he's just dragging it on its roof now. It's not even going upright. So there's even more damage going on. Slowly but surely, he finally gets the chains in the right position that when he starts to pull the car, it starts to go up onto its side. And this is when you look at my video, you see me start to say things like, come on, because I'm like willing this car to get upright. It's flipped over, it's landed on its wheels. And it literally bounced, and as it bounced, the chain bounces and the link comes apart, and the car just goes, and it just starts to roll. On the video, you clearly hear me say, fuck me, I can't believe what I'm seeing. This car's rolling away from him. He's running after it, trying to catch it. I have no clue what he thought he was going to do if he got hold of that chain, other than go off the cliff with the car. And I just say, you have to be kidding me.
When it happened, I had no expression like my friend. His eyes just got so wide. I thought he would be more angry than he was. After it settled in for a second and he actually realized, oh, my car is now like in a ravine. He just started picking up rocks, hucking them at trees, just absolutely pelting them. I'm like, oh, I see you're going through it right now. After the tow truck driver dropped the car, he didn't even talk to us. He didn't say a word.
And we're all looking at each other. We're like, well, what happens now? And the second tow truck comes along. I still remember the guy's face. He's looking around, well, what am I recovering here? And then, oh, there it is, way down in the bottom of the ditch. Another hour's tick by, it's now pitch black. Eventually, they start the motor on the chain, and the chain starts to wind, and we hear cracking of branches. crunching of metal grinding its way up as this car is pulled back out, and it slowly appears from the top of the ridge. They've got some lights on, we can just about see it, this poor mangled car. They managed to put it onto the tow truck finally, what we're now 4 hours later, and the tow truck man, who has again completely ignored us all afternoon, he says to me, look, we need to exchange information here, I'll meet you at the bottom of the road, there's a car park. So I follow him down the road, he gets out of the truck, and he looks at me and he says, I've had a really bad day. And I'm like, you've had a bad day? You're not the one whose car just was dropped off the edge of a cliff, mate. Yeah, I think we've all had a bad day.
My mom's showing me that she took videos of the accident. I was like, oh my gosh, this video is amazing. Like, we have to do something with it. And we showed my dad, and he's like, oh yeah, this is an absolute gem of a video. So I posted it on Reddit, and within minutes, it just started blowing up.
Not only was I not driving, I wasn't even in the car. I came in for a lot of flack for supposedly being a crap driver.
The comments were like, oh, typical woman driver, doesn't know what she's doing, and she was going crazy.
There are a lot of comments. A lot of them are negative. The one that I loved, and it really made me smile, was the person who said, I watch this every morning with my cup of coffee to start my day. And I'm like, yes.
In terms of the work he was putting in, it was definitely not up to standard.
I don't know, it might be quite annoying to my son. I'm the one that's kind of got the glory for it, even though it's nothing to do with me. All I did was rock up with the camera. It was their event, but I get all the glory.